And we are live. We're live.
That's right. We're live. The greatest show on earth, reaching huge distribution across Texas, Louisiana, and of course, we're on our social medias.
Huge. David says huge. Huge.
Yes, we are going big.
We're going big. That's absolutely right. So thanks for joining us on Smart Money Culture TV there in Texas and Louisiana. We appreciate you guys. I am, of course, just getting, obviously, I'm actually just pulling up the house. We had a fun morning. We were on the local news here in Washington as well.
Oh, nice.
With our Annie show.
Huge distribution.
Huge.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, really great time.
That's awesome. You might be switching over to your Wi-Fi or something.
You're exactly right. I'm switching over to my Wi-Fi. I think it just switched, but that was pretty seamless. Hold on, I got the wrong set of keys here. Mom and Dad were here, so my keys. Yeah, which bit? That one, you think? Okay. So I know the title, of course, of the stream today says a lot, but I think it's true. I think the GOP is going to fold, and I'll tell everybody why. Well, I tell everyone why all the time, but there's just so much money on the table. There's so much money on the table, and that's why, of course, you have everybody. You're gonna have to help, I guess. We have everybody moving the troops. They're really pushing this World War III. You have, you have Ukraine shooting down. Looks like they shot down 2 fighter jets. You have Israel, of course, bombing everybody in the world. Seems like really going in now into Lebanon. They really, really want that $95 billion, and that $95 billion. I've walked it through a few times with everybody, but that cost you and your family $1,000. It's about $1,000 to send that money over to Israel and the Ukraine. And they did the same thing last month. So last month they did the 115 or 113 or whatever it was $1 billion, and that was an extra $1,000 too. Now the way they do that is, of course, just inflation. The Federal Reserve, the private bank that we have, the private central bank, fronts the money, and they make about $3 billion off of that transaction as well. So big time scam we have going on with the Federal Reserve. People are waking up. I mean, it's definitely, people are starting to figure out that it's a scam, but it's slow. It's slow. And even like I put out a post on my X. I'm of course Networks manager. David is Sir David Porter, but I put out a post on my X account, and I said, do you accept Bitcoin? And it's amazing how many people are still like, oh no, they don't accept Bitcoin, no way. And it's like, the dollars that you guys are using, that's how they're taking over your country. That's how they're doing it. That's how the bad guys are financing everything, because you're staying in the U.S. and you're letting them take all your money.
Yeah, it's a pretty good point and good way to put it.
Yeah, I have a lot of good points. All right, setting up my computer here. Not in my normal studio, but that's okay. So I think you have Biden now. Biden saying look, I'm going to shut we're going to basically that's the threat is they're going to shut the government down if they don't approve this $95 billion, which is really $98 billion, because $3 billion goes to the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve, of course, wants to put this through so badly because they're making $3 billion.
Right.
I mean, $3 billion. Do you know how much money that is?
Oh, you could get a private jet and fly around the world.
Hey, you would never run out of money. Even me. I would never run out of money, and trust me, I really know how to do it. I make it look good though. So I do think that unfortunately that is what's going to happen. I think they're going to push that through. I don't see our friend Mike Johnson. I mean, Mike Johnson. The thing about Mike Johnson is that Mike Johnson, he was. It's not about money. It's about the unit of value. Adele says it's about the unit of value. Yeah, I agree with you. And then it says, the old thing, what is money, right? What is money? And that's going to be, I think, what is money is going to be the question of our generation. What is money? Because I'll tell you what, the paper money that you're using right now is going to zero. I don't know when, but it will absolutely 100% go to zero. And you're either going to have some Bitcoin, or you're going to have some Litecoin, or you're going to have some different assets like gold, silver. You should have all of the above that are going to you're going to be able to save yourself on, or you're not, because they're just printing the heck out of this stuff. They don't care anymore. They don't care. This scam started in 1913 with the Federal Reserve. A bunch of people died that opposed it on the Titanic, and they orchestrated the bank crash. The J.P. Morgan orchestrated, and his cohorts orchestrated the banking crash, and then they came in with the Federal Reserve and they said, don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll front you whatever paper money that you need whenever you need it. And there's no way, when people talk about paying down the national debt, there's no way you can ever pay down the national debt, because in order to pay down the national debt, you are again borrowing US dollars to pay down the national debt, and every US dollar, of course, comes with debt. So that's crazy. So speaking of that, Bitcoin is flying, huh? Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin is flying. It's flying. Pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and should be life-changing for you. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of great projects that are coming up as well. A lot of really great projects that are built on the different blockchains that, this alt season is going to be something else. This alt is going to be it's going to be absolutely crazy. We're going to see things go absolutely parabolic. You take a coin like ours. It's not even ours. It's decentralized. But you take a coin like Global Boost, and it's at 2.5 cents, sitting there at 2.5 cents. When that thing moves, it moves. And not financial advice and all that stuff. We're not financial advisors, but it'll move up to $1, $2. It has before, I should say. And that you're going to see that type of stuff a lot. You're going to see 100x. 10x is going to be pretty normal. It's already, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already 3x from the bottom. Over 3x. Almost 4x. So that's going to be pretty major. Now, normally what happens, there's so much money coming in that I won't say this is definitely what's going to happen. But normally what happens is we get a big pullback, everything crashes, and then as Bitcoin goes back up from that crash, that's when all the altcoins just ride it up, and that's where they just start really Xing. Boom, boom, boom. We'll see if that happens again. There's so much money in the space, but you look at what's going on in the world, and it's just hard, guys. We can have a black swan event. A lot of stuff can happen. They're accusing the Houthis of blowing up the internet cable in the Red Sea, but the Houthis are saying no, they didn't do it, and it actually apparently is the Houthis that lost their internet. So again, like I said, David, this morning on the show, I don't know, man. It looks like a CIA job to me. CIA Mossad job. I mean, who knows? I don't know, but that's what it looks like to me. We are going to commercial on Smart Money Culture TV. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back on your TVs in a couple of minutes on the second part of the hour, or the second part of the show. We have some exciting projects that are coming on as well. We have a really cool project that's coming on Friday. That I think is going to be pretty nice. Big Bitcoin pumps going on. Big Bitcoin pumps is exactly right there, Sir David. Big Bitcoin pumps going on. I mean, it's big. It's big. So the way this normally goes is we have this big pump right now leading up to like 60 days before the halving. Then we have a pullback for a few weeks. And then we get the halving. There's a little bit of a pump, and then like people are kind of like, oh well, maybe it's not going to go to infinity for a few months after the halving, and then it goes parabolic again, and we see new all-time highs. But there's just so much money that's coming to this space now. People know now. I mean, if you bought something for $100 back 60 years ago, 80 years ago, I did this math because of course Rothschild passed away. So how much has inflation gone bad during this last 80 years? He died at 87. So for the last 80 years, how much inflation has happened? And it's 10x. So if you're $100, or if you spent $1,000 anyway, what you bought for $100, then you'd have to pay $1,000 to get right now. So they've devalued the currency so bad that it's like impossible to save it. I think it's just going down. It's just going down. I tell you, David, down. The U.S. dollar is going to crash. The dollar is going to crash forever. There I am right there. Okay. I am going to play our analysis from our good friend Matt Dixon this morning as we're coming off of commercials here on Smart Money Culture TV, and we are live. We're live. And then we're going to talk about some of the other stuff, but Matt did some good analysis of things this morning.
And the Rothschilds, along with the Rockefellers and some of the other ones, have been taxing you with no representation. And you've been lied to about it your whole life. Now people are starting to figure out the scam.
We've had some amazing, these green camels here.
Instagram, because the markets we have with us here, Matt Dixon, Sir Matt.
Okay,
great.
Let's watch this.
Sir Matt Dixon, what's going on, sir?
Good morning. I'm just pulling up Dogecoin for you. So,
oh man, it's one of my favorites. I can't get enough of Dogecoin. If I had kept all my Dogecoin I had back in the day.
Well, I'll just let me just tune in and get that. So yeah, it's been what a night for Bitcoin. So I had my target, didn't I? And I'm just going to present. So I had my target of 55,000.
Yep.
We've gone past that, and I want to show you the exact reason why. Why it went past, and where I think we're heading now. So hopefully you can see my screen, starting with Dogecoin.
the doggy coin.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So doggy coin looks to me as though actually, yes, it may go to those crazy highs that were all that's been anticipated. But at the moment, you can see everything. This is quite a long term. This is daily chart. Every one of these candles covers 1 day of price history. So you can see the candles are really compressed. So it's a long period of price history. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And even from here, I don't see a clear 5 waves to the upside, because if you counted wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 is not allowed to enter the territory of wave 1 here. So that's not right. That couldn't be an impulsive count to the upside. So it's telling me we're probably going to get some more chop to the downside with doggy coin. So we've had some amazing, you can see these green candles here, an amazing run. It may even have a bit higher to go, but I'm just saying it looks like it's not going straight to the upside. We are going to get some more downside before that happens, I believe. Here's Bitcoin, the major winner of the day. So just looking at this is the chart I showed yesterday, and I had my target here. I've been actually spouting this target for the past couple of weeks and saying to you 55,800 was the target that I had on for Bitcoin. And clearly we've exceeded that overnight. And so the reason I got that target was I measured wave 1 to wave 3 and then put 0.618 as a projection for wave 5. Now within a cycle, and a cycle here, we're talking about a 5-wave move. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in red. That is a cycle. So within a cycle, you would expect two Fibonacci relationships. So I was expecting a relationship to wave 1, but you can between wave 1 and wave 3, but you can just as easily get a relationship between wave 3 and wave 5, for example. You normally get an extended wave, and normally wave 3 is the extended, meaning the long wave, which is the 1.618. So interestingly, if you measure from the start of wave 3 here to top of wave 3, and then you transpose that measurement to the bottom of wave 4, then 0.618, and I'm always talking about this amazing golden ratio, 0.618, gives you the exact price that Bitcoin reached overnight. So whilst I had it projected using wave 1 to 3 and targeting here, actually the relationship was that wave 5 was 0.618 exactly of wave 3, which is again quite amazing. I missed the exact top, but I do believe there's potential here that this is certainly a local top, and I think we could fall back now. Again, from risk reward perspective, I think the short side is looking attractive. It's reached a really good target that I think is sustainable for the time being. Ethereum has been on a tear as well. It's been absolutely amazing. Look at it, 3,263 there. Yep. So I looked at the target for Ethereum and potentially saying this is a corrective move to the upside. And so I measured from this X wave here to the top of the A wave. So you can see I've got that measurement 100%. So that's that measurement. I just transposed that movement out to the bottom of the B wave here. And that gives me a target of 3,371. So we're close to it, maybe just a little bit higher to go, but I think we're then going to probably get a correction in Ethereum. So that's, I think, where we're at there. VET is that one that I told you about leading the way, often leads the way. And I do think that this movement we had up with VET, VeChain, is basically corrective at the moment. So we don't have any 5-wave move to the downside. We also don't have a 5-wave move to the upside. So that's telling me we've probably got an A down, a B up, and we're expecting a C down. So I'm expecting further movement down. We haven't broken that previous high there, despite the massive pump on Bitcoin. VET didn't follow. VET's actually leading here, I believe. So I think that it's leading the way lower. And we'll just look at some of the indications that we have here on VET, just open it out a little bit for you to see. So basically, first of all, we have very clear bearish divergence. So higher highs on price and lower highs on RSI over the same period of time. So that's one indication of a potential turn. Now just look at all these candlestick patterns that we have. So for example, this is some kind, it's almost a kind of shooting star here, telling you a potential top at this point, and price went down. Here we have a shooting star and price went down. Here we have a hangman candlestick, again indicating probable price movement down. That's exactly what followed. Here we have a shooting star followed by a hangman candlestick. So again, both indicating potential downward movement in price, exactly what happened. And then at the top here, we have basically a hangman, followed by a kind of shooting star. It's also, it's a very bearish candlestick there. So there's a lot of indication that we're potentially looking at a downside move to come in almost immediately on VET. So that's candlesticks, that's bearish divergence, and if we looked at Fibonacci extensions, that would also match. So there's a lot of indications that we're at or near the top. But don't forget, like with Bitcoin, I said, even when we're down in the 40-something thousand, 48, 49,000, I did say at the time 55 was a good target. And we exceeded slightly, but I've actually, as I say, I've shown why that happened. Let's look at what's happening with dollar index very briefly. So dollar index, again, we're always looking at what is an impulsive move. So here we've got some kind of 5-wave move to the upside, which there's no overlap with these waves. Wave 4 does not overlap wave 1, so this looks impulsive. Then we've got all this corrective sideways movement, that's the correction. Then we get an impulse, solid movement up, loads of correction. Then we get an impulse, correction, another little impulse, correction. So I think that at the moment, I don't see any reason whatsoever why we don't see more upside on dollar index. So I think there's probably more upside to come. And we'll just look in a moment at what the potential drivers for that might be. But if we get more upside on dollar index, that means we're likely to get downside on risk assets like SPX, S&P 500, like Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency. So I think that this is very corrective, choppy movement here, like every other occasion when you get choppy movement. And even on the downside, when the impulsive direction was down, you got the impulse down, you get choppy movement up, impulse down. Then we change direction, change trend, basically, impulse up, choppy sideways. So I think we've got choppy movement here, and I think we're due for an impulse up. So what might drive that? We'll look at that in just a moment. This is the S&P I featured yesterday. And I said there are lots of indicators. We have 3 Fibonacci measurements here that all coincide over different time frames at this level that we achieved. I think it was last Friday we achieved this peak here. We've got bearish divergence. We've got all sorts of indications. We've got candlestick patterns. So many indications that that's a potential short-term top. If you've taken that, if you've done a sell, you could now protect your sell somewhere here, guaranteed profit no matter what happens. So if S&P does, for any reason that we haven't considered, go through the roof, we're protected on a potential short trade there. We're guaranteed profit now if we follow this chart and traded accordingly with good risk-reward parameters. And again, we've got the bearish divergence. So a lot of indications there that in tune with all the other assets that we're looking at, potentially some downside. Could this be the driver? We've got durable goods orders coming out. The forecast is for a negative figure. We have had negative figures in previous months, and we had a positive figure a couple of months back in November. So let's just see what comes out. It's actually not what the forecast is. If it meets forecast, probably no big impact. But if it doesn't meet forecast, if it beats it or fails it, then that could have an impact on the market, because the market actually factors in what they're expecting. So if we get something that's not expected, that could actually have an impact. So durable goods is clearly a sort of barometer of what's going on with the American economy, how healthy the economy is. So that would be one to watch out for a bit later today. And I just wanted to touch 2 final things, if we've got time, just very briefly, about the eBay tool, portfolio tool. It is absolutely amazing. We're launching this, the full power product, we're going to be launching at the end of March. But just to show you very quickly, this is just, you can get this off the internet, basically. It's market theory, it's modern portfolio theory, it's called Efficient Frontier. And here you've got an infinite number of portfolios, so where you can put together a group of assets, and all it is the return of the portfolio against the risk of the portfolio. And normally, the higher the risk, the higher the return on your portfolio. But there's something called the Efficient Frontier, which is risk-free, and risk-free is actually counted as US Treasuries. That is counted as a risk-free product. So it's quite interesting that They're taking US treasuries as that risk-free. And you draw a tangent to this efficient frontier, and that gives you the most efficient possible theoretical portfolio. It's amazing. This is what all fund management really is built upon. All the traditional world uses this technology and this theory, basically. But what we've done at eVay is actually build in the factors for crypto. Now, why is it so difficult? Why couldn't we do it? There's 20,000 crypto products. There's almost infinite permutations of those portfolios. So to have the computing power to do that is very difficult. But lately, we've developed some AI tools, some artificial intelligence tools, some dynamic computing tools to actually be able to deliver really accurate, ideal market portfolio. So we can actually put together the most efficient portfolio that can be the best return for a quantified level of risk. So that is absolutely amazing. And we're going to be coming out with that at the end of the month. And we've already got it running. We're testing it. It's amazing. And I just want to try to share, if I can, one final little thing just to show you on the, how this actually works, how this would look to you. So I'll go on to crypto ratings. This is the portfolio allocation tool. It actually just shows a portfolio, this kind of donut thing here. And on a day-to-day basis, it will actually show you which assets you should have within your portfolio, which assets you should remove. And this will give you the optimal portfolio that's theoretically possible on a risk-adjusted basis. So you get the best risk-adjusted return on your portfolio. And it just tells you very clearly how to allocate your portfolio. And this, we're actually going to be offering this free to the world. So anybody can use this for free. And it's institutional grade information. The computing power that goes into this is absolutely mind-boggling. And we're offering it for free to everybody. So once we're out with it, I hope that your community, I hope you, Bruce, and everybody will get involved in sharing this, because it's going to be free. And it really empowers people to make better investment decisions with their investments, to minimize their risk and maximize their returns, again, for free. Institutions pay millions to develop these tools in-house, and we've developed it, and we're actually going to be offering it for free to everybody. And we'll have something built within the tokenomics of our token, which actually monetizes and funds what we do. But for the world as far as they see it, this product will be free to use. And that's the news for today. And again, I really hope that we can get some feedback, share our details with your community, with you, Bruce and David, and we'd like to share this with everybody. So
that's awesome. Well, that's I know, it's so much work that has gone into putting this together. I mean, you and I even. So of course you have the great Matt Dixon talking about the rundown of the markets this morning. That was from our morning show this morning. I'll tell you what, though, it hasn't. Actually, there is a little bit of a recoil. There's a little bit of the recoil on some of the assets. I did mention that I just did before I dip into that. So I just did spot on ABC7 with my daughters, and then there we go. Haha. Let me get some of these on here. Show these to you guys. It was a lot of fun. One of the greatest things about doing a play with my daughters is, of course, just that time with them. It's a very small amount of time that you really get to have with your kids, and you don't realize it maybe for a while. But I'm going to pull up some more. But this is sending a short video of it to myself, but just to show everybody here. This is the. We are live. There we go. Yeah. So So this is the crew from Good Morning America here.
Ouch.
We have, and that's the girl that we did our interview. And I should know everybody's name. Emmy would know everybody's name. Emmy is the one who really set this deal up.
Ouch.
Of course, my two daughters right here. That's Bella. She's 13, and that's Penelope. She's 9. And this is Jacqueline and her daughter. We did a spot on basically doing theater with your kids, and how the Old Town Theater is kind of helping that out here. Here we go. Let me see. I want a next. Okay, hold on. I have the actual. Get a link. Oh yeah. All right. So that's transferring. I have a couple more here. I just want to show you. Look, the thing about doing, it's like people miss it. People miss the moment, and I tell people all the time to not wait. Don't wait. Like, go ahead and have a family. Like, even if the whole thing blows up, and this is what I've always said, even if the whole thing blows up, at least you did it. And at least you have the kids. You know what I mean? And that is what it's all about. And if you look right here, so this is so you see that was the background they did. That's of course the selfie that I put there, right here. And then there you are, right in front of Annie. So a really nice spot they did. This was on ABC 7. Good Morning Washington. They called it. They did a really, really nice job. And I almost have that video that I wanted, but let me show you another picture that I have here. And this is what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about.
Has been given.
There we are. It's a hard knock life. My wife is doing the filming here. All right. Yeah.
So inspiring. Thanks so much, Greg, for sharing that with us today. All right, let's go to Eileen.
All right, kid. It's a hard knock life. And you're never fully dressed without a smile. This is why I'm not doing it. We have the real folks that are performing Annie. They are bringing it to life in Alexandria, and we have that coming up in just a moment. Stay where you are.
So that was the little spot, like the teaser as we're leading into it. You know what I mean? And then this was the spot.
Uh-huh.
So we do have another week of performances, I think. Let's see, download, and then it's done, and then I'm back to work. It has taken a lot. It has taken a lot of time. A lot. But again, I wouldn't trade it. It has been a very great experience for the three of us. Very nice experience to have with my daughters. I don't know if I'll get another experience like that again. Life is short. And the kids are young like this it's a very small amount of time. And you don't really realize it until you're into it. You're always trying to, run around and do everything. And then, and here is, I think this is the, I don't want to mess up my shot here. Very small amount of time that we get on this earth, and it's a very much smaller amount of time with our kids and when they're young. And you realize that when you realize that you're not going to have any more little babies anymore. But it's been nice to be home. I know David and I are going to start traveling a lot, probably a lot more as this bull market progresses. People want to raise money, and we're good at that. But it's important, guys. It's important to do this stuff. So this is a nice clip of the actual shot. I think here, if this loads right. No, this is the wrong one. Here we go. It reloaded the. Well, I tried to get the one over here. Let me just see here. Yeah, this should be this one. All right. I think I finally have it. We're live. We're live. I can share it from this thing, I think. Let me see. All right, I almost got it. I almost have it. Let me see here. Present. Share screen. Almost have it. Sorry.
It's on your mic.
Here it is.
Well, the Little Theater of Alexandria presents Annie the Musical. Bruce Porter Jr., along with daughters Bella and Penelope, are here along with the show producer, Jacqueline Robertson, and her daughter, actress Kinsey Robertson. So welcome to all of you. So lots of families working together. Let's talk to you, Jacqueline, about, Annie. I mean, it is such an iconic movie and musical. Tell us a little bit about what our viewers can expect.
So, if you are familiar with the movie, which most of us are, I remember watching it as a girl in the 90s and falling in love with Annie. It is a little bit different. In the musical that you see on stage, there are a lot more big musical numbers, specifically from the character of Mr. Warbucks. The classics, It's a Hard Knock Life that the orphans sing is in there. That is a crowd favorite.
Oh, I can imagine. I feel like I was singing them. I tried earlier, and Brian Vandegraff said, "Don't quit your day job," which I'm not going to. But Bruce, tell me what it's like being on stage and acting along with your daughters. I mean, that must be really cool.
It has been like one of the coolest experiences. I'm from a big family. We had 6 kids in my family, and so as I was growing up, I did multiple plays with my sisters, with even my brothers, and I always told my wife Emmy that it would be so fun to do a play with the girls. And so, like, for years, I even had the Little Theater in Alexandria targeted. And so, as it rolled out, this, over the last few months, I thought, well, I think this will work out. And sure enough, it was Annie, this iconic play, and we all went and tried out, and it has been exactly what I thought. It's just
So anyway, really cool. It's been a great experience. I don't know if I'll ever get to do another play with the kids. Maybe I will. Hopefully I will. See, this is my spiffed up outfit. Spiffed up. Maybe I will. You know what I mean? But maybe I won't. And we got that experience. And you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we have troops amassing over in Russia. Putin has said in no uncertain terms that if NATO troops go into Ukraine or some other things that would happen, he doesn't want to do it. But he has thrown around the nuclear stuff like, it'll happen so fast you won't even be able to blink your eye, he said. And we're really playing with stuff that's absolutely crazy. And then you have, like I said, Israel's just kind of bombing everybody, and I understand everybody has a right to defend themselves and everything, but we have to talk to each other. There's no way that we're going to get out of war without talking to each other. We have to talk to each other, and Israel's not going to kill all those people. They're not going to kill them all. It's like 1 point something. I mean, it's like crazy numbers. So in the end, we're going to have to talk, and so we need to figure out a way forward together, because the elites want to kill us all. They want to kill us. They want to reduce the human population down by 90%. I'm seeing oh yeah, they want to reduce the population by 50%. No, guys, they want to reduce the population by 90%. They want there to be like 500 million people on this earth. They don't want you here. You're not in the club. David might be in the club. But they want
in
us
all
to
the
go
clubs.
out. You're in all the clubs. Everyone loves David. They want us to
It's
all
like an
kill
art.
each other. It is. It's like an art. David's always been well liked. Ever since he was a kid. Everyone always liked David. It's good. That's why I keep him around. But it's we have to talk to each other. We have to deal with each other. And that's the only way forward. That's the only way forward. The elites, the Rothschilds, central bankers that have enslaved all of us, all of these people, oops, they want us to kill each other. That's what they want. Don't give them what they want. Why in the world should we go to a war with Russia? It was so funny. Not funny, but you know. Why in the world should we be dragged into a war with Russia, who, never mind, we won World War II with? Why in the world should we be dragged into a war in the Middle East? You know, like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And we want to support everybody. I want to support everybody. I want there to be peace. I want there to be peace, okay? Peace. I want peace. But as part of what's fueling this rally, of course, this rally is really something else. This Bitcoin rally, what are we at now? 56,987. Every time you think there's going to be a pullback, it's like, no, I was just kidding.
Right.
Now, that's the psychology of the markets. That's how it works. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to go up further. Look at that. This 4-hour chart, something else. Look at this one. Hold on. Look at that 4-hour. Unbelievable. Look at that. That is just really something else. Look at those green shoots. Sailor bought again right down here, and then you have the FOMO in of the ETFs. But it's not only the FOMO of the ETFs, guys. It's also the fact that everybody's realizing the scam of the central banks. And they're realizing as well that you're about to get taxed again $1,000. So the deal now is that Biden and the Democrats or whatever, even the Republicans, they're all doing the same thing, are trying to say that we can't shut down the government. We can't shut down the government. No, we can't shut down the government. It's bad for the seniors. I haven't even listened, but I know that's what they'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Seniors. It's bad for the government employees. And on this and that and the other. And I'll tell you what, I have been on record a number of times in saying, look, I don't think it's the right move to shut down the government. I think it'll cost us votes or this, that, and the other. But I think people get it now. You're gonna get charged $1,000 for your household if they pass this deal. And you're gonna feel it in inflation. It's one of the worst taxes, to be honest with you. It's one of the worst taxes. So you already got an extra $1,000 last month. So there's be extra $1,000 this month. And trust me, they're going to want an extra $1,000 next month. And so, you know, and then if you figure out your real tax rate, like I said, your real tax rate is actually 3 times what you're paying. I don't know if you've done your taxes yet for last year. It's not pretty. But if you have, your real tax rate is 3x what you paid. And you probably are thinking, how in the world could it be 3x what I paid? Because I'm paying about a third of what I made. So how could that be possible? And I say to you, that's why you're feeling it so much, because that's the truth. The government spent $6 billion and they're bringing in 1.5 trillion. They spent $6 trillion and they minted up $6 trillion. and they're bringing in 1.5 trillion. So that other 4.5 trillion they are taking from you from inflation. And out of that 6 trillion, your good friends, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, are raking in massive billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions off of that. Hundreds of billions. It's not 3%, but it's close to 3%. 6 trillion. Unbelievable number. Unbelievable number. And that's why the US dollar is sinking so bad. And these people are getting so wealthy. That's why these people are so wealthy. It's unbelievable. We have to stop it. It's the only way to save the country. I think that getting Trump in will be a good step. I think it'll be a really good step. I hope that I hope he cleans house. I hope he does it. I hope he really does. I think that I don't think there's going to be very many people that are going to tell him to end the Federal Reserve, though. So that means it's up to you. You got to tell them.
Yeah.
Global Boost. Global Boost holding there a little bit over a quarter of a penny. 2729 right there. Bitcoin, the mighty Bitcoin there. 56,922,970 it's trading at right now. Really popped up there. Ethereum looking really nice. Up over 11% on the week, trading at 3,226. BNB has been on a tear. Solana, and I will say that when these ones start to, so if you look at this number right here on the 7-day, it's only up 1%. But a lot of times when these ones start tapering off, Ethereum's a different story because they're supposed to get their ETF, so everyone's FOMOing in on that. But when you start to see this happen, where it's starting to kind of pull back, that is a lot of times an indicator that the whole market is going to pull back a bit. I mean, we're due, but I mean, it's all fair. It's all fun and games at this point because the money coming in, it's just so much money coming into the space. It's unbelievable. So much money. And to explain it to everybody, you can have a stock split. You can have dividends. You can have all kinds of different things with stocks. The gold too. Gold, yeah, sure, there's a limited supply, but at any given time, we could find more gold. We might be able to mine even a lot of gold out in the stars. We don't really know what the supply of gold, silver, palladium, platinum is. We know what the supply of Bitcoin is. We know that there's only going to be 21 million. And we know that is about to get squeezed again in less than 2 months. Same thing. Global Boost is on the same deal. We're going to be squeezed at about the same time. We're minting about 25 coins per 10-minute block, and it's going to go to half of that. So we're going to see a nice squeeze there too. But those old coins, if they start to mint more coins, that's going to be a new coin. It's going to be a new Bitcoin. It's going to be something else. It's not going to be this old one. So we could see some massive prices. Massive prices. You need gold. You need silver. You need old blockchains that they can't seize, they can't freeze, they can't take by court order. Global Boost, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Digibyte. These old proof of work blockchains that we think, again, we're not financial advisors, that we think are going to be worth a lot 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now. In 100 years from now, I can pretty much guarantee that $100 bill in your pocket will be worthless. That $100 bill is worth what a $10 bill was when I was a kid. It's that bad. That's how bad they've taxed you from inflation. So that's the crypto markets. The Dow today is down 160 points. The NASDAQ down slightly, pretty flat. Let's look at oil. Oil up 0.5%. It has been in this channel for weeks. Ever since we started the show, huh, David? It's been in this 70 to $80 channel.
Yeah, pretty stable, but it's a stable low.
It's low. I think it's low. I think it's going to go over 80 as inflation goes through the roof. And then that's going to be too late. SPX is the S&P 500, up slightly, up about 0.5%, a little over 0.5%. DXY, this is the US dollar. DXY, do I not have a good chart here? Unchanged. No, that's Dixie. That's different. It's different. USD to euro. It's about where it was. Come down a bit. So pretty interesting stuff. I think that we're going to the dollar as it's strengthening right now, but people want out of it. They want in Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people, though, if you're in a part of the world where there's a lot of turmoil, then people do flock to the dollar. So we'll see how that goes. Europe's an absolute mess. We only have a couple minutes here, David, but what's the sentiment over there?
You know, there's a lot of pushback from the locals. I almost think that it's a shame that a lot of the kingdoms kind of aren't operating anymore, because I think that they would have a lot of more care for their country instead of letting it be run over by people being voted in by magic machines and starting to operate in that sense.
Oh, I think that's a really good point. And I think that was why we did it. That was why the U.S. did it. We formed NATO. We installed these little countries, and we put in we broke apart the old guard who helped us win. Helped the U.S. win. I got to stop saying we. Helped the U.S. win.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's been a little bit on the crazy side, and it's not looking too good.
Not looking too good. Well, it's we're going to be watching it closely. We're going to be back on TV in Texas and Louisiana, back on Smart Money Culture TV tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. on your local station. That's 6 a.m. in Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. in London. We thank everybody for keep your eye on what's going on. You know what I mean? Pay attention, guys. Pay attention to what is going on. Listen to what we're telling you. We're doing the shows twice a day in order to get the word out. And that's what we're doing. So exciting stuff ahead.
Sweet.
David.
Yes. Stay tuned and stay lucrative. We'll see you in the morning.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.